What is going on, Boston? All right, who's ready to have some fun today? My name is Nicholas Christopher, and I play Aaron Burr here in Hamilton. I also went to Matinee High School in Somerville, Cambridge line, and the Walnut Hills School in Natick, Massachusetts. So I'm a local boy here. So I just want to give a quick shout out to the people who make the Hamilton Education Program possible. We'd like to thank Hamilton and American Musical, the Gilder Lehrman Institute of American History, the Boston Opera House, the Boston Public Schools, and also the City of Boston for having us do this. And we want to give a huge, huge shout out to a very special guest in the audience today, Mr. Mayor Walsh. And we want to give a quick shout out to our funders today, the Lynch Foundation, Broadway in Boston, and the John Gore Organization. So now let's get to the performances. All right. So let's try to be that supportive and that vocal for everybody who gets up here today. It's not easy performing in front of 2,600 people. And trust me, I know, we do it every day. So the first one up, from the Berkshire Arts and Technology Charter Public School. Let's give it up for Ayana.
Learning is not attained by chance. It must be sought for with ardor and attended to with diligence. Yeah, I said that. I will not stand to be simply seen as John Adams' wife. I am Abigail Smith Adams, not his trophy, not his pretty little doll who will sit and smile and agree simply. I am one of the main reasons that man got as far as he did. Abigail, give me some advice. Abigail, what should I do? I, a woman, answered his queries. But when I said to remember the ladies, did anybody listen? You want heroes, statesmen, philosophers? Well, here's a bit of advice. We need some learned women. If you think women are dumb, try keeping that opinion after having been an audience to any of my conversations. You will see that women can be just as intellectual. You think that John was your president, that he acted and made decisions alone. Think again. A woman helped to lead you and made many decisions for the man you called your leader. When given the opportunity, womankind can take over and rule without the aid of men. I didn't say. I didn't say to withhold the power placed in husbands' hands for nothing. I helped this country more than the founding fathers would like to give me credit for. So excuse my French, but oh merci, ce serait bien. Before many of the others, I was one of the first civil rights activists. I said, remember the ladies. I pointed out that all peoples, regardless of color, should be equals. We all deserve the right to freedom and the right to be significant. Speaking of significance, oh, woe is me. Yeah, no, you will not break me down. I am a strong and independent woman, and when given the opportunity, the education, womankind can and will speed the human race towards success. Give the slaves their birthright and freedom, and give them the same white man has. Together, as one race, we can grow stronger, reach farther, sing louder, and race for the stars as one team, one race for us all to win and to lose.
All right. So next up on the list is from Boston Green Academy. Let's hear it for Carlito.
Y'all ain't hear nothing like this. Y'all gotta wait for the beat to drop. Hold on. My face is on the dollar bill. Yeah, so you know I gotta keep it real. Every time they see my army, they get scared and stand still. It's me, the man who set you free, the commander of the Revolutionary Army. The British tried to give me stitches. I said, nah, man, stick it up your britches. Those on raincoats came on the boats. I sent them off and slit their throats. Come on, man, I got 69 electoral votes. Me and my bros wrote the American Constitution right after the American Revolution. That's what any of my 13 colonies, I'm gonna have to set the policy. We don't have that much technology, but I'm gonna still fight for my man's equality. You still talking about, I'm gonna mess up your economy. I cannot tell a lie, you see. I just shut down that cherry tree. I was born and raised on Mount Vernon. I really like math and I prefer learning. Hold on, pause. These rhymes gonna leave you burning. Once I stop, you'll be left mourning. That was your warning. I'm on top of Mount Rushmore. Running this country was only a tour. Once I arrive to Britain, sure, I can assure you I'll leave the corpses on the floor covered in gore. Once I come back home, I'll open a store, which my people won't adore. When I'm done, they'll be begging for more. I can't hear that because I'm taking a snort. After 219 years long after I won my war, they still trying to figure out my lore. But in my court, I like to eat s'mores. I'm polite, so I hold the door. I don't mess with some of y'all females that got me a wife. So y'all can stay indoors. Let me take my snort. I already won my war. Do I need to say more?
You didn't want to dance. That track is hot. All right. So next up on the list, Boston Prep Charter Public School. Let's hear it for Nicholas and Arius. Hey, water. Okay. Looking back, things began in 65. Cosmos dance, we were all survive. Made a colonies were with it too. Soon to be the U.S. Who knew? 65 to 74. BS, a revolution occurs. We are the U.S. Yeah, that's cool. So great colonies are now states. No more parliament in our face. However, issues still stand up face. No united power yet. We call ourselves the U.S. of A. I don't know on the top, but I got a couple issues. Articles of the Federation, living so unofficial. States possessing the power for so many hours of justice scholars. Hey, the one is the power. Hey. Water. All right, that was the first verse. That's the first verse. Done crazy.
Round two coming soon.
Can I get a quick jerk from the crowd? Yeah! That's all I can hear. All right? I always like to shout out Boston Prep in the crowd. I don't know who you guys are, but I see you. I don't see you guys. All right. Hey. You ready?
All right, let's bring it back. We're coming back soon. Coming soon. All right? Coming soon. By the way, I produced this beat, so you know.
He produced the beat.
All right, let's come back.
Get him. Okay. Okay. Okay.
I challenge you to what they call an affair of honor. No peace in this scenario until one is a goner. And when I am done, his body will need a doctor. And not long after, his heartbeat will start to wander. July 11th, 7 a.m. Serious I am. 1804, you won't pass. Body hit the floor. Bunker Church with that hardware. 99 word where they took your son to. That is where I will take you. My election is in shambles. All this guy wants to do is ramble. When the day comes and I do the everyone in the world might hate me. The 11th, 7 a.m. Serious I am. 1804, you won't pass. Body hit the floor. Bunker Church with the hardware. 99 word where they took your son to. That is where I will take you.
Get it! Shout out, okay.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah! Hey, 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 hey! All right. I gotta get this on my phone. All right, next up, Brighton High School. Let's hear from Mary Lena.
When it all falls down, say I'm gonna do this on my own. I know it's hard, but once you strive, you can make it all by yourself. Oh, dear Alexander, tell me how you did it. Dear Alexander, tell me how you did it now. I want to know how to be strong, so tell me how you did it. Take your passion and let it soar. Speak your mind for word or song. Express yourself with art. Use your talent. Sing or dance. Let them hear you now, just like Hamilton did back then. Dear Alexander, tell me how you did it. Dear Alexander, tell me how you did it now. I want to know how to be strong, so tell me how you did it. Just think about having no family to catch you fall, having no mother to kiss your fears away. Where is your father to give a warm embrace? I know that Hamilton felt this pain. He saw different views from all the rest, different lifestyle from all the rest. He understood what it's like to be different. A fight for freedom, a fight for rights, a fight for people, a fight for life. I know you probably want that flight, but did you really take up that fight? Take your passion, let it soar. Speak your mind for what a song. Express yourself with art. Dear Alexander, tell me how you did it. Dear Alexander, tell me how you did it now. I want to know how to be strong, so tell me how you did it. Dear Alexander,
Next up, well, I think, oh no, that's not for me. Oh. From Chelsea High School, let's hear it for Dimas and Malaya.
One, two, three, four. It began in the military, the opportunity of a lifetime, starting life with my boyhood belly. You gave me important discipline, your right hand and your aid I became. You trust me beyond how I saw myself. Not ready at first, I felt ashamed of leading a man. You helped me excel. All through more trying with each debate, incident, all of them were dangerous instruments to play with. But at your side was when I had my guide. Thank you.
All right, multi-talented. Next up on the list, Dearborn STEM Academy. Let's give it up for Kenny.
Born into slavery, God damn it, this misery. Mom and little bro got sold with no dignity, newborn. New land reborn, taken to be a maid with no pay. Brainwashed my brain, now I gotta stand up and end the pain. Tired of it, this my new home, and this place insane. Went to the place of God and seen other ways. Had to stay and learn so I could tell my kind. So I could free them and open up their minds. Told my master, thought he was smart, but he'll listen and change his ways. So I began to write. I am big bro, want to change. Paid my freedom to tell my story and wisdom. Thank God for this exchange. Look at this world full of rage. My people are free, so this is slow change. Was the first of my kind to start a church for the people to pray to God. Now it's a mission to give others hope and faith, to love and stop the hate, to enjoy and appreciate. I'm part of the revolution, not the execution. I'm Richard Allen. You heard?
Give it up for Kenny one more time. Next up, from East Boston High School, let's hear it for Guadalupe.
On a cold day in December of '73, there was an urgent matter, a matter with tea. We had thrown it from ships into the harbor of Boston. We, the patriots, we did it with caution. For this unfairity shall not just pass. The tax on the tea, 'twas not going to last. And with this tea, we shall take down the thieves. So here, my fellow citizen, let me keep this brief. The tax on the tea was adding to the beef. We, the patriots, will take down our English chief. You will never know my name, but you'll tell our story for generations. Thank you.
All right, all right. Next up on the list, from Edward M. Kennedy Academy for Health Careers, let's hear it for Jazz Marie.
Caribbean, home of sunshine and slaves, working day and day just to be sent away, trading sugar cane and rum to the Americas, who gave back tobacco and cotton. It seems so rotten, human beings are being traded for cotton. 1700s, start of all that has been forgotten, trying to betray every day, people and things being sent away to uncharted places just to work for those who don't deserve the hard work and sacrifices they unwillingly made.
Yeah. Next up from Everett High, we got Marie, Nicolina, and Raul.
Before we begin, we wanted to shout out our director, Evan DeMarzo, and all the Everett High facility that came with us today. Thank you.
On the day of the duel,
I awaken, heart beating, blood pumping. I am shaken. Today's the day my life may or may not get taken.
on the day of the duel,
Today is the day I shoot with intent. Hamilton, he poses no threat. My dear Theodosia waits by the door upset.
on the day of the duel,
Eliza will not receive my letter until I terminate my earthly career. God give her the best, for I will miss her, my dear. I shall cherish the sweet hope of meeting her in a better world. The roots of these thoughts is Burr's reputation being twirled.
on the day of the duel,
As we make our way to Weehawken, the men and I start talking, reminiscing on the past, knowing the consequences will long last. Yet with a feeling in my heart, America knows I'm doing my part. For this man I challenge to duel is the reason this country is being run by a fool.
on the day of the duel,
I turn and face the vice president. This man once my friend, not my opponent. I put my hand forth for him to shake. Soon after, we turn and take 10 steps that will determine our fate.
on the day of the duel,
With success I shot him, now we'll see if he'll sink or swim. All this talk was cheap. With assurance my life I get to keep. My wife and child will be so proud of me. This act will go down in history.
on the day of the duel,
For 36 hours I lay in bed, on the brink of being dead. Yet I do not fear, for my mother, son, and friends are near. And as my times run out, I am in no doubt that this country I help out will turn out fine.
on the day of the duel,
From New Jersey I fled after shooting my opponent, prior friend dead. I head to Manhattan to have my first meal of the day, thinking how to escape, how to get away. Then straight to Georgia for sanctuary, and as the gravemen start to bury, I read the New York Post bold and clear. General Hamilton is dead is all I hear, and soon I must realize the end is near. Farewell, my political career.
on the day of the duel,
Yeah. On the day of the what? On the day of the what? Good. All right, next up from Greater Lawrence Technical High School. Are y'all right here? Are y'all right here? I need to hear more from you guys right here. All right. Y'all ain't ready for this. Let's hear it for Jamal.
I got a question for y'all. Are you going to the party? The Boston Tea Party? Are you going to the party?
The Boston Tea Party. Are y'all going to the party? The Boston Tea Party. Yeah, we throw away the profit. 9659, you lost the check it. It started with the magic picket. Looked us in the eyes, you shot us dead. And like my main man Hamilton said, and what about Boston? Look at the cost, and now when we lost and you talk about your Congress. Yo, did you even think when you pulled the trigger how our lives differ? Or how you were mad you was coming in hard-headed? We had enough and we would drop, but that still ain't the reason for Samuel Maverick or Crispus Addicts. Why'd you attack us? Say, why'd you attack us? Samuel Maverick, Crispus Addicts. Why'd you attack us? Why'd you attack us? Are you going to the party? Say it real quick. Are you going to the party? What party? Are y'all going to the party? The king said he gonna tax the tea. That's the reason you Americans drink coffee. Like Hamilton said, y'all should agree with me. Why should a tiny island cross the sea regulate the price of tea? And made us think we had to do something more. And made us believe that I was worth fighting for. The king cares so much for his tea. Let's send him a thank you to throw it in the sea. I don't care what's going on between you and me. I care about what really matters. See, I want to be free. 2 years later it begins. Our revolution, not to commence. Sister Adams, Revere, Warren, and Quincy. Sons of liberty with or against me. And I'll say yes if you ask me. Are you going to the party?
Get off the stage before they give you my job. Jeez, that was great. And next up, you didn't tell me. Jeremiah E. Burt High School. Let's hear it for Isaiah.
Year of 1776, also brain unadopted politics. Citizens question if they're more skeptic and need for an answer. Less than BPS. Congress breathless, 13 colonies, painless, needless, 5 authorities, ruthless, baseless, self-priority. Must adhere for freedom and equality. Jefferson can't cope right on the thin rope, drafting and crafting words like the old pope. Edit the picture, bring on the rapture. Members of a nation, pink on a steep slope. Better a suggestion, not a squeakle. Laws you agree that should be legal. We hear the country, we hear the people. We knew that our men are created equal. I say with a fine relaxation, we live in a country, no imagination, created by our fight against segregation. The hardest to tame up against our temptations. The British might behold a king with treason, but that's okay, it is those times of reason. We wrote a declaration ahead of the season. We are independent and that guarantees it.
Gonna take it by MC Isaiah. All right. Nobody's dancing. Let's hear it for Margarita Nunez Academy, Harrisburg, Caroline, and Ashley.
Ok. Empezamos aquí. Hamilton me dijo de que iba a venir. Y le pregunté, ¿con qué?
Pagareta. Next up, the Leominster Center for Excellence. Let's hear it for Janaea and Jasmine.
Tonight, there is no music to this. This is a little rap that me and my friend here put together. I'm part of a pacifistic Quaker, pacifistic church, expelled from church because I showed support. Armed rebellion against England, 43 years old, too much life I should have lived, but instead it was so. So the books and words, and the college and the nerds, and the what people heard to my children's birth. But I never acted weary, the best and the worst, my family knew my job came first. I was the general in the American Revolution. We won the war, but after the defeat came treachery, conditions worse than in early January. The storms were harsh, people were parched. But what about the currency? Continental dollars nearly weathered by spring. They kind of said the good for the people who were fighting. I told wives with our hunters were without shirts and other necessary clothing. My name's Nathaniel Green. I didn't want to be so mean. When I came back from war, oh damn, my back was sore. It was rough, but I was tough. I knew I had to be enough, cause I was the general they looked to and ooh, damn, I did what I had to do. About a time never thought that my son would almost die. Survived this horrid illness. My life and I felt for days on end. All we needed was a close friend. Thanks, George Washington.
You guys sound great. You're about to put some people out of jobs up on this stage. Next, from Snowden International High School, we got Amy, Jason, and Janela.
So mad. It's so annoying. I can't believe this.
The government takes everything.
Literally, our money, our liquor. It's ridiculous.
You know my wife left me?
She left you?
I have nothing to sell anymore.
I can't even feed my kids. They have nothing on their feet.
Hear ye, I am President Washington, and after violently attacking my tax collector, I present to you with a proclamation.
Yeah.
He taught the rabble, screamed, reformation, they will suffer punishment soon.
Tear this dude apart.
Chaos and bloodshed are not the solution, but if I must redirect, this will not suffer, you will suffer punishment soon. Stop right now.
The people have spoke their minds. No taxation without representation.
Here, here.
Hey, give it back. Give it back.
Equality for the farmers. Equality for all.
Enough of this. Sit down.
All right. That was great. We recycle here at Hamilton. So while they're cleaning up, let's give a huge shout out to the performances today. They were so good. I mean, really, the pressure's on for us coming up next. We really, really want to thank you guys. And let's hear it for you guys as an audience. Y'all were crazy, love you and supporting. So next up, we're gonna move on to our Q&A. You guys submitted questions, and we're gonna give you some answers. We got some very, very talented cast members here to talk to you guys. So let's hear it for Paige. Taylor. Crystal. Charnette. And Vance Hill, Coop, Coop. Give us a sec while we coordinate. All right, y'all, you want to go down the list and introduce yourselves and what you do in the show?
My name is Vansel Cooper, and I actually do nothing on the stage. I sit right below you guys there playing drums for the show.
Good morning. My name is Charnette Beatty. I am in the ensemble of the show, and I understudy all three of the Schuyler sisters.
Hi, I'm Paige Krumbach, and I'm in the ensemble as well, and I am woman 2.
Hi guys, my name is Crystal Mackey, and I'm also in the ensemble, and I am woman 4.
Hey guys, I'm Taylor Daniels. I play George Eaker in the show, and I'm man 4. We the fullest.
Once again, I'm Nick Christopher, and I play Aaron Burr. So our first question is from Berkshire Arts and Technology, oh Lord have mercy, Technology Charter Public School. And the first question is, how does it feel to be a part of a show as popular and important as Hamilton?
It's a dream come true for me, something I had dreamed about, and it's obviously one of the most important and popular shows right now. So I think with that, being a part of a show that so many people have seen or heard about, I think there's a lot of responsibility to it. When we go out to restaurants, we're visiting a city, and people know that we're in the cast of Hamilton, I think we have to hold ourselves to a certain standard, be kind, be loving, be polite, be pleasant people, because people are going to associate you with this show. And I think there's responsibility that comes with that. That is truly an honor and a dream come true for me.
Adding to what Charnette said, it's obviously a dream come true, and it also reminds you that the people watching the show, because they know it so well, it makes me pull up and give a better performance because they know what you're about to do, they know what you're about to say, and I don't know, keeps me humble.
Adding to what these two beautiful humans have said, I think that the other beautiful thing about Hamilton is it reaches out to people that may not have previously been into musical theater. I, for one, had never played a Broadway show before Hamilton. And when I got the call to come and do this gig, it was like opening my mind up to a whole new world, what my preconceived notions were about how Broadway shows are run. This is a whole different game. It's a game changer indeed.
Yeah, that was great. We got another great question from Boston Arts Academy. Oh, well, hello. All right. So how do you deal with typecasting and stereotypes in the theater industry? Woo! That's a good question. I'll speak to this. Ever since Hamilton, the perspective of people behind the table, like producers and directors and choreographers, Hamilton, something like Hamilton has definitely opened their eyes. So the stereotypes and the typecasting, at least on the theater side, are starting to be expanded very much so because of this show, which is great. And the thing is why these edge-a-hams are so important is because they hope that other upcoming writers and other upcoming directors will be inspired by this show and help widen the spectrum even more for people of color, definitely.
I guess I could add on to, for me, typecasting. I am a woman with a shaved head. I do not have long hair. I have tattoos, so I'm not the most feminine in some people's eyes. So being called to this show and being respected by my looks and told that I'm a woman and I can wear a dress and being set in a time where that was not a thing, it's really nice. It's really nice to be accepted the way I look and who I am as a person.
That was a great question, you guys. Thank you. Next question is from Claremont Academy. Oh, hello there. How do you get into character and ready for the show each night? This is great. Good process question.
So I have my routine where I like to get here 2 hours earlier before the show starts, which is a lot of time. I, do my hair, makeup, and I have to warm up my body and voice, but mainly my body. And when I don't, I feel it the next day. But that just means some time in the studio, some little meditation, a little bit of yoga. And yesterday I did something crazy. I went to Barry's before the show and worked out. But every day is different. As long as I physically warm up my body, I'm okay to perform that night.
Yeah, I'll add on to that. Being in the ensemble most nights when I'm not on for Skylar Sister, as you'll see in the show today, a lot of us are on stage just watching the story, being a part of telling the story through our eyes. So in getting into character, something that I think about is, sometimes I think that I'm like an angel, like a guardian angel on stage, because I'm just standing there watching. But there are no small roles. I think Hamilton is an ensemble show. So to get into character, it's my job to help the audience see the story through my eyes. So I need to be focused. I need to be present on stage, get into the character of, I just believe I'm an angel on stage, watching the action, a storyteller. So I try to stay focused and present to get into character to tell this story every night.
It's great. Yeah, as you get older, kids, your bodies, like, you can't just like wake up and go like I used to in high school. So definitely a physical warm-up and definitely a vocal warm-up, and then some place to try to find like a quiet place to quiet your mind before the madness ensues. Because what you'll see is once this show starts, it doesn't stop. And we're in these little pilgrim shoes the whole time with buckles on them that, is not exactly like wearing Jordans during the show. It's not the most comfortable either. But definitely someplace to kind of quiet your mind and focus. Yeah, definitely. Next question from Community Academy of Science and Health. What is it like being on the road and performing this show in so many different cities across the country?
Can you repeat the question?
This question is from Community Academy of Science and Health. What is it like being on the road and performing this show in so many different cities across the country?
The thing, performing this show, well, let me speak on, I'm from Boston, first of all, so. But getting to go to different parts of the country where, politically speaking, there are so many different viewpoints, and this show is very intentional about what it stands for. And I think it's amazing to go to these different areas where people see things differently and seeing them all kind of see this show. And I mean, there are a couple of people that don't really get with it, but for the most part, it unites people, and it's really cool to see that people from all different backgrounds, all over the country coming together and loving this production.
This one's from Dearborn STEM Academy. Am I saying that right, or is it STEM? Are we good? We good? Okay, good. Thank you. How do the dreams Hamilton had for America compared to present day America? Let me repeat that. How do the dreams Hamilton had for America compare to present day America? It's a political question.
We're in a very intense political climate right now, but I'll just say that I think there are a lot of comparisons and parallels between what Hamilton was doing for our country and what a lot of people are trying to do for our country. I think it starts with one small thought, then it turns into action, and I think Hamilton started to make a difference and started to be that one change. And sometimes it pays off to be the change, to be different, to go along the path less traveled. And I think there are people out there who are doing that now. So I would say there are a lot of parallels, but in the climate that we're in, I think that'll do for the answer.
Awesome question, man. This next question is from East Boston High. How much freedom are you given when rehearsing and developing your character for the show? And we can extend that to also like musically speaking.
Because the show is so intense, for lack of a better word, it's 3 hours long, we do it every night. There are parameters we are told we can play in, and after you play along those parameters for a while and you start to figure out your show, it molds and morphs a little bit, but you're still doing what the creative team originally had planned for the show. Does anybody else want to speak on the parameters I'm talking about? Because that is like a very specific. Yeah.
There are certain details that we have to keep, like when being taught the show, we have to do what we're told, but there is a fine line where we can add our style and our character into it. There's some freestyles throughout the show that we can play upon, but there's also some fine things where our arm has to be at 90 degrees and our leg can't go above a certain amount, a certain height. So it's a fine line. We can't just get on stage and do whatever we want, but we also do have an area to play with.
And it's so much fun. Like when I first started learning the show, I was like, okay, I have to stick to this, and this. And then when I started doing the show, I was like, ooh, I can play more, there's more people, because I learned with a smaller group of people. And so when you get on stage with a larger group of people, you're like, oh, I have all these different energies I can bounce off and play with. And you try something and you're like, yeah, that totally worked. And then you'll try another thing and you're like, ooh, not the right choice. Okay, duly noted. But it's always a learning experience, and it's very, very fun. That's what makes the show so fun, is putting your own personality into your character.
And to add to all that, musically speaking, Alex Lackmore, who's our arranger and orchestrator, is like, this guy has like a bionic ear. He can hear everything. Everything we play is pretty much written out. However, there is, I had a conversation with him where he's like, I just need the 1%. There's the 1% that you have to kind of do your thing, but it's a flexible 1%. And you just, you just use your better judgment. You respect the ink, respect what was written. It was beautifully written, and you have a little bit of space to do your thing, but never try to get in the way of what's in the ink.
Yeah, the show's already a hit, so you don't have to do much. You just kind of gotta show up and bring your authenticity to it. And it being different or finding leeway, and in terms of space to explore, that will happen on its own, because you're an individual. And in the show, they encourage our individuality, because we come from a country of individuals. And that is the best way to tell the story and the most honest way to tell the story. Next question from Edward M. Kennedy Academy for Health Careers. I never would have gotten into that school. How does it feel to perform this show for a room full of diverse students? How is it different from other audiences?
this is, it's all 4 of our first Edgeham. That's kind of a big deal, for me anyway. I've been to an Edgeham before. I really am moved by how passionate you guys are, and watching the show with a student audience as diverse as yourselves was, I honestly don't have words for it, but I think you'll discover what it's like very soon.
Also, I mean, this is my first Edgeham, so I've never performed the show in front of students, but I remember being a student, and I didn't see the show as a student, but seeing other shows, and I just remember being extremely moved and being this, like, the little girl there, like, oh my God, I can do that. Like, that girl looks like me. This dream can actually come true. So just take it, like, first of all, you guys are really lucky to be seeing the show as students, number 1. I wish. And 2, just like take every moment in that you can and grasp it and hold on to it. And if this is something that you want to do, like, your dreams really can come true, so, yeah.
I've been with the company since January, and I've played all the Edgehams since then, but I have not. This is my first time doing the panel, but I will say that I look at it as, you know, every game is game 7. You got to come with it every day. But when we do the shows, the Edgeham shows, you know, you guys just give a different energy, you know, and it's like, it's inspiring in a different way. I mean, I'll be like under the stage or under there, and you can like feel the vibrations in the floor, like when you guys get excited, and it's great. It inspires us to push a little harder, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Also the most honest audience. Like, if you guys find something funny, you laugh. If you don't, you don't. And I found that out the hard way. But it's also, you know, it reminds us why we do this. It reminds us that, you know, we had a dream to be up here, you know, doing this, and hopefully we can try to inspire others. But you guys truly, truly inspire us to get up at 9:30 in the morning to come through. No, so thank you. Yeah, only 9:30. This one's from Excel Academy Charter School. I think we have some of them here in the building. What kind of research went into developing your character as you were preparing for the show? Great question. I'll speak on that. Well, a lot of my knowledge for the show came as Lin-Manuel Miranda was writing it. I was lucky enough to be a part of a team of actors that he would call into the room to develop it, to hear it out loud as they were writing it. So a lot of the information, I think the first read-through of the whole show that we did was like 4 hours and 15 minutes. So there was a lot of information in here that they ended up condensing and distilling into the show that you know today. And while that was happening, I was slowly reading, because I'm very dyslexic. I was slowly reading the Ron Chernow book on Hamilton. And so that's where a lot of my information came from. And then after that, just reading online, if I got interested in something. Like, something that I didn't realize is that the duel, it's not like they got mad at each other, wrote a letter and said, meet me here. That was months and months and months of going back and forth, of organizing this thing. And it just surprised me how much pride two people could have to be angry for that long, to be angry for months and months and months in order to meet somewhere and to duel it out. That was really surprising to me. But then also, in terms of Aaron Burr, I was very much interested in his early life and what his parents did, what his grandparents did, and how old he was when he lost everybody, and how many people he lost in his life, how many people died in his life. This is a very flawed person. And I think what is interesting about being an actor, even though I'm playing the quote-unquote villain, the more information you have on somebody, the more you can identify with them. And so for me, in my mind, that allows Aaron Burr to go from villain to victim. So it's about bringing my truth to that, and also respecting that this was an actual person who went through these actual things. This next question is from Fenway High School. There they are. I see you guys. When did you know that you wanted to be an actor, and what did you do to get where you are today? Or musician?
I knew from the time I was 5 or 6 years old that I wanted to be a performer, no stranger to the stage. I knew right away I wouldn't stop singing and dancing for anything. So I went to college for musical theater. When someone told me that I could make a career out of this, I was still kind of like, huh, really? I'm just doing this for fun. But I graduated with a BFA in musical theater. Yeah. And then I moved to New York, and I've been really, New York City, really blessed to have booked jobs and kept working hard to train. And I think what really helped me get to where I am now is when I switched that little thing in my brain to believe in myself. If you're putting a lot of validation and letting everyone get to you and putting, I think, your value in the wrong place in your head, I don't think you can make your dreams come true. I think what really changed things for me and helped me be right here where I am today is when I decided to believe in myself. You can love what you love, you can do what you gotta do, you can grind, you can work hard, but if you don't believe that you can make your dreams come true, it's nothing.
I grew up in a very musical family, both sides. A lot of musicians that went right here to Berklee College of Music in Boston. Shout out to Berklee. The most important piece of advice I could give to any, are there any musicians, instrumentalists out there anywhere in here? Vocalists? Okay, we got a couple. So I would advise you guys to just make sure you learn as much as you can. Like, don't get too caught up in your thing, right? I grew up, I only know how to play one beat for a long time. I grew up with a bunch of Caribbean people. I could play reggae and some dancehall, calypso, you know, but, you know, as I started growing in church, you know what I mean? And that's its own world. But I wanted to branch out, and I'm fortunate to have had like a good, you know, people sewing into me, around me, encouraging me to learn as much as I could, learn how to read, like really learn how to read music, because us church musicians grew up like not, you know, we didn't have to learn it, you just did everything by ear. But I wouldn't be sitting up here in front of you guys today if I didn't study as much as I could, you know what I mean? So that's it, never stop learning, always stay hungry.
I started dancing when I was 3. My mom just threw me in dance school. And at first I didn't want to dance. I would just sit there like a stubborn little girl and watch everyone else dance. And then I decided one day to just get up. But I didn't know much about musical theater until college. So I went to college and high school for contemporary dance. But that side of dance and musical theater is extremely different. And I didn't know that this was possible. Like, I didn't know it was a lane that I could go to, because I didn't grow up singing. I mean, I would sing Beyonce and stuff in the car, but like, that was like not what this is. And one of my teachers who did both concert dance and musical theater was like, girl, you could do it, like, it's possible. And I was like, no, I can't do that, like, I can't sing, I can't, like, that's not okay, like, I can't do this. And then it wasn't until I saw her in this show called After Midnight on Broadway, and I was like, oh my God, like, I can do that, like, this could be a lane that I can go to. And I graduated college and did a cruise ship of the show After Midnight that I saw her do. And that's when it was like eye-opener, and I transferred to musical theater lane, and yeah.
Great question. Next question is from Greater Lawrence Technical High School. There's a lot of you people here today. This is a great question. How do you manage having a life on the road outside of the show? Well, I mean, I think I'll start. The easiest way to have a life outside of the show is that we get to, every couple months or every couple weeks, we get to explore a new city. We get to research it and find the best places to eat, find, you know, what's open late, what historical landmarks we can go to learn more. But that's just kind of immediate things to do in terms of family life, and outside of that, I'll let you guys speak to that.
Well, I was just going to add to what you just said about going to different cities and exploring, especially the historical landmarks. We've been fortunate enough to be in cities that align directly with American history, and when you're walking down the street, oftentimes when you're doing a touring show, you don't get that stimuli connected to the show while you're in different cities, but we've just come from a city, Washington, D.C., and now we're here, and we can walk down the street and see things that are in our show, which I think is unique to Hamilton and eye-opening, like we've said before. It just is constant stimulation to work harder and push in the show we're doing every night, which is unique to the show we're touring with.
I have been finding, this is my first tour and first musical, so I have been finding it a little difficult at times to make sure that I am doing things outside of just this show, because I have never wanted to do anything else except for perform, dance, and sing. That's all I've ever wanted to do. So now that I have that, I also have to remind myself that there's a world out there besides just this. I have a family, I have parents, I have good friends. I also have a cat that I bring with tour on me. And I think he really helps me to anchor down and remember that there is something outside of just this and someone else that I need to take care of and look after and think about rather than just myself, to be honest. And then it also forces me to be like, oh yeah, I have friends back at home that were in my position before I got this, that are still doing the hustle, that are working multiple jobs, and I want to keep up with them, making sure that they're okay. I have a parent, mom and dad, I have a brother that I still need to keep in contact with, and doing that, it keeps me leveled, it keeps me humbled, it helps me realize that there is other things out there besides just this perfect world that I am living in for 3 hours every single night. So, yeah.
I think also, like, calling home, at least for me, like, is what works. I make it, like, my duty to talk to my grandfather twice out of the week, because, like, he's my heart. And we can get wrapped up in this, like, schedule, and we're too busy, but, like, checking in with home and, like, calling the people that you love is one thing that I do, and also journaling. I love journaling and listening to podcasts. Oprah's podcast is, like, my fave. But yeah, like, just listening to her and journaling is something else that helps us, like, or helps me escape and check back into home and reality for me.
Good question. Is Malden High here? All right. So this question is from Malden High. Has being in Hamilton changed your perspective on history and America's cultural identity?
Well, I'll start with something real quick. It's when you're sitting in class reading a textbook, it's hard to realize that the people you're learning about are real people. That sounds kind of counterintuitive. But being in the show, seeing how moments in history can happen with a snap of your fingers, you realize these are just people making decisions trying to better themselves and to better the country they wanted to create, they are people, just like you and I. And that's been something I've realized since doing the show for the brief time I've been in it. People shaped our country, and people will continue to shape our country, and it's the decisions that these individuals make that brought us to where we are now.
I think it's a great reminder that in every action that we take or any story that you tell or that you read about, there are so many different perspectives. There's always going to be more than one point of view, right? So sometimes we read one version of the story and there's someone else's version of the story. So it's kind of reminded me and opened my eyes to the different perspectives people can have and on the story they tell. And you oftentimes don't have control over who lives, who dies, who tells your story. It's true. So I think that it's been a reminder of that for me.
Great. And this is our last question. What obstacles, if any, have you had to overcome to get to where you are now? I mean, I'll speak first, like, what? It doesn't have a school though. Yeah. Maybe I wrote that one. I'll take credit for that one. That's from the Nick Christopher High School. No, definitely one obstacle that I've had to get through is dyslexia. And I thought being an actor was just, you wear a costume and you parade around on a stage and you just have fun. I didn't realize how many scripts I would be reading a week, how much research I would have to do. I'm like a professional homeworker now. And I hated doing homework because it always would take me twice as long to do it. And so it still takes me twice as long to read scripts. It still takes me twice as long to get through that Ron Chernow book, which is a great book, but it's extremely hard to get to where, you're seeing letters move around the page. So that for me definitely has been one of my greatest obstacles to overcome, to be here.
To add on to that, I think that as creative people, when you decide that you want to do this for a living, to be honest, it's a little bit insane. We're all a little crazy, you know what I mean? But it's like, because it's like, I'm not gonna go after a career that just guarantees me, it's not always guaranteed. That you're gonna have a job, like sometimes you're in between work, like coming up as a musician, I'm like, this is what I wanna do for the rest of my life. And you have to kind of get through the valleys of like, when is my break gonna come? When am I gonna get that job or that gig that like, propels my career forward? And, trying to find things that ground you, so that you never give that up, you know what I'm saying? And, if you're that dedicated to what you're doing, I mean, you can do this too. Any of you guys could be up here on the stage doing this if you work hard enough.
I know I kind of already shared this, but I think the greatest obstacle to making my dreams come true, which this is one of my biggest dreams, was the self-doubt. I think we all have insecurities and we all can work on our confidence. And once I, like I said, started to believe in myself and trust my power and trust my ability to make my dreams come true, I promise you guys, that's when everything changed. It doesn't happen outside of you. It happens inside of you. You have to believe in yourself. I went to so many auditions like, I'm gonna get this, but inside I was like, but I'm not tall enough, or I'm too dark, or I'm not skinny enough, or I'm not that strong of a dancer. Those little tiny thoughts are so powerful. So that was a huge obstacle for me, to change the way that I think, to believe in myself, and to trust my value. And when I started to do that, and I still work on it every day, things started to change. So you can do it. Overcome that. Believe in yourself.
Well, we just want to say a huge, huge, huge thank you for you guys joining us today. We're really, really excited. I'd like to give a shout out to these fellow actors and musicians and wonderful spirits that are here next to me on the stage. And we're really excited to have you see the show. This is just a quick reminder. Oh, and the ciders down here, killing it. Here's a quick reminder, don't forget to take your surveys at lunch. We'd love your feedback on the program. Your teachers have all the information for you in their registration packets. For those of you getting lunch at the Charles Playhouse, you're gonna be dismissed first. For those of you who are going to the Orpheum Theater, please chill out. You'll be dismissed soon after. Teachers and chaperones, as you head to lunch, please hold up your signs so that the ushers can help you get the correct lunch location. Thanks again for being a great audience. We'll see you guys in a little bit.